Hello and welcome to another episode of On the Bench Extra. This week on the sofa with me is Cleethorpes chairman Dave Patterson. Thanks, Dave. In the show today, we'll be looking at the upcoming fixtures this weekend. We have Grimsby Town highlights and we review the back pages of the papers. Don't forget, you can send us a message on Facebook, Twitter or email, and your message could appear on next week's show. So, Dave, we'll start by talking about the last month for you. How's that been since we last spoke?
Yeah, it's been a great month for ourselves, really. We've gone 8 games on the bounce winning, so that's fantastic. Since the FA Cup, we had one blip straight after that against Pickering, but then we went on this run and it's been superb.
So you can't really argue too much with that run of form, and you're banging in the goals as well. 5-1 last weekend, 1-1 midweek, obviously winning on penalties. So you know, you have got a winning team at the moment. How's Marcus?
Yeah, he's delighted with the way we're playing at the minute. You know, everything seems to be ticking into place, and he's rotating the squad. He's not just sticking with the same side as well. He's bringing players in. They're fresh, and they're trying to stamp their mark on the game as well.
So a squad for promotion this season.
That's a big ask.
Yeah.
It is a big ask. There's no two ways. There's a lot of good teams in there, and Tadcaster, Shore Lane, you know, they've got a bit of money as well, so they're getting some good quality players in. But we'll be up there. We'll be somewhere thereabouts.
Is it heartbreaking seeing the FA Cup this week and then with obviously out yourselves in the pot? You were so close, really.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we had a great run. I mean, it was fantastic when it was happening. But yeah, I mean, to see that Warrington Town, yeah, to see that they're live on TV against Exeter is great for them as well, you know.
Obviously, Fixtures over North Ferriby, you obviously beat yourselves, so yeah, that could have been
it's all ifs and buts, but yeah,
maybe next season,
possibly.
So you know, what does the future look like for Cleethorpes really?
Yeah, the future's really good for us. We've got a good backbone. That's key behind the scenes. You know, things are in motion to help us progress further. So hopefully, you know, it's not just a quick insight into Cleethorpes, and we're going to be there for a long time.
Fantastic. I have heard rave reviews actually from the club, but we'll address that later as well, Dave. Thank you. So looking back at the latest results, Hull City are down to 13th after losing 1-0 to Southampton. The only goal came after a horrible clearance fell to Victor Wanyama, who lobbed the ball into the net from 40 yards. Mark Robins gained his first 3 points as they beat Peterborough United 2-1 at London Road. His first win was sealed by an own goal, and Scunthorpe now sit 21st in League One. Grimsby made the trip to Braintree on Tuesday and came back with all 3 points. Lionel John Lewis on form, scoring again, leaving the Mariners second in the table. North Ferriby United turned round a 3-1 deficit as they bounced back to beat Oxford City 4-3 and pick up maximum points. So a great first half performance by Grimsby, and a second half they did enough also. What do you think to that game for the Mariners, 3-0 against Dartford?
Yeah, it's a good result. It keeps them bubbling along as well, you know, and they're up there. And fingers crossed they can maintain it for the rest of the season.
There was a new lad, Harry Powell. He's a giant of a man. I think the shadow on the pitch was from him, not the main stand. Did you see much of Harry Powell? Do you know much about him?
I don't know a lot about him, but I've heard that he's a decent player and he is a big lad. So I think he'll fit in well.
When a player comes into a team like that, is it hard for them to adjust? From your experience of seeing that, or is it easy for them?
It can be. It's all down to the temperament of the player as well, and how he reacts to things. And but I can see that he'll be doing well for Town.
Yeah.
And he's a big old lad, so
he gets around the pitch all right as well. Yeah. Mark Robins must be delighted as well from last weekend, first league win. What will he be feeling right now?
Oh, he'll be on top of the world. To go and beat Peterborough, fantastic result for Scunthorpe.
Top half of League One, obviously.
Yeah, so he'll be delighted with that.
Can you see now that Scunthorpe going on to more and more wins, or is that a one-off? Do you think, or is it time to push on now?
No, I think Mark Williams was a good appointment for him. He's a good manager. I think he's just been a bit unlucky at a couple of places, but this might be the one for him.
I've heard a stat that he's never been relegated as a manager. I think we mentioned that on last week's show. So do them kind of things play on managers and players' minds, or is it irrelevant?
No, I think it does. I think he'll want to keep that stat going, and I'm sure he'll do it. I can see him pulling along with that.
Hull City then just losing at home to Southampton. Some have said that's quite a credible performance because Southampton are the informed team. So quickly, what do you think to that result?
Yeah, I mean Southampton are a great side at the minute, surprising everybody. Hull have done well as well, but it was a cracking goal to win it.
And of course yourselves at the weekend going to Southam, the big 3-hour journey, 5-1 win. So it's great to come back with points.
Yeah, I mean the important point was to get through to the next round, and we did that, and we did it in style. So
it's another cup run, is it, for Cleethorpes? I think.
Fingers crossed, yeah, fingers crossed. We've got Wisbeach Town now away, so we'll be looking forward to that.
Forgive me for being naive, but where is that? I don't know where that is.
It's near the Wash, near Kings Lynn.
So it's not too far away then?
It's about 2.5 hours. So.
Fantastic. Well, all the best for that tie.
Yeah,
but we'll move on. So earlier this week then, John Fenty has spoken out about the importance of a new football ground for the Mariners. Now again, obviously you're involved with a football club, I'm not. So how important is this for a football club financially and obviously just for fans as well and for the game?
It's massive. It's massive for Grimsby Town. They've got to get away from Blundell Park. I know there's a lot of heritage there and it means a lot to a lot of the fans, but unfortunately in this day and age, if you want to compete and get Grimsby back to where they belong in the Football League, they've got to move.
Now I think I read in midweek that they've lost from the last season over £200,000. Now obviously that can't continue. Is that because lack of gate or because they're in the Conference League?
I think it's a combination of both really. Obviously they're not getting the gates that they were when they were in the Football League, so they're not getting the revenue through there. And it's not only just through the gates, it's the sales of merchandise and one thing or another that all helps. But if they get, I'm sure if they get a new stadium, that will attract another 1,000 onto the gate in whatever league they're in. And it's proved with other teams who were in the lower reaches who've gone and moved to new grounds. Just shot them up the league.
Cleethorpes yourselves, you said you're looking for a new stadium. What are going to be a few plus points for you for that? Yeah,
I mean obviously we're at the moment we're playing at Bradley, which is a great facility, but we want to get back to our own home at Linden, and hopefully we can get the plans in shortly, and fingers crossed we can start building on there.
Is that looking likely then?
Yeah, I mean it's still early days, but we've gone through all the pre-planning parts of it, and it's looking positive.
So it's not just a stab in the dark, there is some momentum to it.
Definitely.
Great, all the best as well with that,
Thank you.
Dave. So our stat man Greg, he's like a chihuahua, he doesn't stop. He's given us some more tricky challenges, and this is no different, so take a look at this. In 30 seconds, can you name the 14 domestic grounds to have hosted England games? Villa Park, Old Trafford, St James's Park, Anfield, was it the Walker Stadium at the time, the Emirates or Highbury, Stamford Bridge, the Hawthorns, St Andrews, Birmingham, the KC Stadium with it. Well, thanks Greg for that question, and you can see Dave's attempt in part 2. I'm sure Greg's loving that. Just before we go to a break then, this week's halftime teaser is Lincoln City achieved their best League Cup run in what year and which round did they reach? See you after the break. Welcome back to the show. Before the break, I asked you, Lincoln City achieved their best League Cup run in what year and which round? And it was the 67-68 season, and it was the 4th round. So full marks if you got that correct. Do you know that, Dave?
No.
No, me either, really. You had to research that. So still to come on the show, we look at the back pages of the papers and we look at the fixtures coming up this weekend. So we'll start with the head-to-head. Let's see how Dave got on. In 30 seconds, can you name the 14 domestic grounds to have hosted England games?
Sunderland, Stadium of Light, Man United, Old Trafford, oh crikey, 14. Oh, my mind's gone blank. I think them two. No, it's gone. Absolutely gone.
So, Dave, do you think you'll attempt another challenge with us again? Says it all, that.
Yeah, I doubt that.
So, this week's Sack or Stick, we're looking at another manager. Now, this club won the FA Cup in 2008, and now they're 13th in League Two. It's Portsmouth and their manager, Andy Orford. Now, they're not doing too badly, but the reason, we're looking at these is because in 6 seasons they've gone from, FA Cup heroes to League Two, sort of squanderers in mid-table. So what's gone wrong really for the club?
I don't think it's the manager's fault particularly. I think they've gone through a few managers in that time. It's all down to the backroom staff that's caused the problem.
Something's gone horribly wrong financially, I think. Yeah. So again, that's evidence. It's not. You need to back a club. Money is important in football now.
Oh, it is at every level.
Yeah.
Wherever you want to be, you've got to back it with finance. Even at our level, if you want to succeed, unfortunately, it does come at a price. But at that level, money is vital. And if you haven't got it or something goes terribly wrong,
I was looking at the FA Cup final team. Obviously. Fantastic team. I think it's Harry Redknapp in charge, some England internationals in there, and now half the lads probably fans haven't heard of before. Some young. So,
yeah, I mean I couldn't name one of them. I don't think. Yeah. One of the current team. So it's disastrous for a team like Portsmouth, who's so well known.
I think that proves it's a team game. Really, it's not just you can't just throw anybody into a team. You do need certain players.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you need that bit of quality. Bonding does help. Like ourselves, a bit of bonding is good, but you still need a bit of quality to finish off games and such likes.
Again, obviously Marcus, your manager as well, has had some financial backing, and you're reaping the rewards for it really now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we do as much as we can. Nowhere near the levels of Football League, but we do help him as much as we possibly can. Otherwise, you won't get the players you want, and we've made some good signings this year, and it's proving worth really.
That's fantastic. So from one manager to another, Andy Orford to Jose Mourinho. Now I'm talking about Mourinho because he made some comments in midweek, not about the club, but about the club's fans and the lack of atmosphere. And he thought Stamford Bridge was empty, or it was almost a sellout. So what's going on there? What do his comments mean?
It's a difficult one because obviously the fans pay the money, pay the wages. So if to comment like that can be a little bit going backwards for him. But I like Mourinho. He's a good manager and he says what he thinks.
He's a very honest man.
He is an honest man. But to come out with comments like that are not great. No. It might be quiet. It might not be what he wants, but unfortunately, you can't make comments.
Is it the players' responsibility to get the fans going and put on a show for them, or equally, do the fans need to cheer on the team they're supporting to give the players that confidence?
I think it's a bit of both. It works both ways. If the players are performing, the fans will back it. I'm sure, make it noisy. But if they're not performing, then it can be any football ground can be quiet. Yeah. If it's not happening on a pitch.
The importance of fans is obviously when it comes to Portsmouth. Obviously, they've rescued that club in a way. They're now the owners of the club in a way the supporters trust. So, I mean, Mourinho obviously because he's the big profile he says it and there's more attention to it. For example, but if a League Two manager says, "Oh, the atmosphere wasn't great tonight," do you think it'd be overlooked?
Yeah, it wouldn't even hit the papers.
That's true.
It's because it's Mourinho.
So we'll move on to these papers now, Dave. Now there's 3 stories in the back pages, and as you said, if a manager in League Two made them comments, it wouldn't make papers. So, what is making the papers? We'll look at Grimsby Town's the new state. We mentioned it earlier in the show, but in the back of the Grimsby Telegraph, we've got something on the new stadium. Now he says they need to move out for the future of the club. Just will Grimsby Town go bust as a club if they don't move?
There's a possibility. Losing £200,000 a year is not financially good. So they know where they've got to be. They know they need a new stadium. And obviously it's what comes with the new stadium. Like I said earlier, your Chesterfields, they've moved to a new stadium and they're reaping the rewards now. They're going up the leagues. So it does help. It does help, and I think that is vital for the football club.
So that was the Grimsby Telegraph. We've got the Sun Sport. Now Ancelotti's defending Balotelli at Liverpool. Is he right to do so, or does Balotelli have to ask himself the question, what's going wrong?
I think it's down to himself.
Yeah.
He's just not performing, and he appears to be lazy. Comes across that way, and if it doesn't go his way, his head's down. I think he's a very difficult player to manage. I certainly wouldn't like to.
Yeah, there's rumours that he's going to leave Liverpool at the end of the season if he doesn't improve. Would you get rid of him if you was manager?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt, he'd be gone.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Marcus wouldn't have him in that team either.
It's the body language on the pitch, I think.
It is,
It don't give off a good vibe. And what have we got in the iSport? You've picked up a story there.
Yeah, picked up one with David Moyes and Louis van Gaal, the head-to-head.
Is it the stats for the season on season?
It is, yeah. I mean, Moyes, he played 10, won 5, drawn 2, lost 3. Van Gaal's played 10, won 3, drawn 4 and lost 3. So, it's not looking good for Van Gaal, really.
So,
you look at that.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure I've seen that Moyes at this point last season had 1 or 2 more points.
Well, it's down there. It's down there. It's 4 points more than what Van Gaal.
So what's going wrong there with Manchester United?
I don't know. I mean, Van Gaal's brought some good players in. I think to me, the squad is not balanced right, and I think he's got to start with the back four. The back four is just not strong enough.
Do you think with Louis van Gaal's kind of status and profile, and he's getting a bit of an easy ride, because Moyes got it tough last season? So if this was Moyes again, would he be like getting hung out to dry? Yeah,
Moyes would be gone again. There's no two ways about it. And I think he was unlucky, David Moyes. I mean, I'm an Everton fan myself, and he did fantastic for our football club, got us to a good level. And I just think he was unlucky. He didn't have the time and what he wanted to do.
I do agree with you there, Dave, actually. So we'll move on. We'll look at the upcoming fixtures this weekend. Hull City travel to Burnley. This fixture last time around saw Hull take all 3 points. However, Burnley have won more meetings between the two. Two sides who have never met face each other in the FA Cup this weekend. Forest Green Rovers and Scunthorpe United are both hoping to progress to the second round, as are Grimsby Town, as they host Oxford United, hoping to overcome the League Two side. North Ferriby travel to Tamworth. The last time the sides met was also in cup competition, with the Villagers winning 2-1 back in 1989. Dave, we'll talk about Cleethorpes Town this weekend to begin with. What's your fixture going to be like?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one away at Handsworth. They've just changed the manager, got a few new players in, I think, and it'll be a tough old game for us. But we go there on a back of a good run, so hopefully we can keep it going.
Yeah, that momentum is so important, really, away
definitely.
from home as well. Yeah. So you're expecting 3 points then, albeit tough.
Yeah, I think we go there expecting the 3 points, but it is a tough league.
Do you ever go to a game thinking you'd be happy with a point? Would be good not to lose today.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. There's points in a game. I was actually talking to Matty Powell, one of the assistant managers. Does it come to a point in a game where you think, we'll be happy to take a point here? And and he agreed with me. So 75 minutes, if you're under the cosh,
every point's vital.
Exactly. And that 1 point can.
Which I guess is the same for Burnley as well this weekend against Hull. In a way, high flying compared to the Burnley. What's that going to be like for Hull City?
It'll be a tough game. I don't think there's any easy game in the Premiership now. They're all tough games, and Burnley they'll be up and at them. They'll be in the faces. And
Van Gaal took United to Turf Moor, can only muster a point. So Burnley could beat Hull. Yeah,
they could easily do. But I think Hull, they've got a good strength in depth there, and they are doing well this season. For me, I'd fancy Hull on that one.
So looking at the FA Cup then, Dave, Scunthorpe travel to Forest Green Rovers. There's a difference in the two teams, obviously a golfing quality on paper, but again, it's a tough game, it's FA Cup. What's going to happen with that one?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough trip that to go there, and Forest Green are doing well in the conference.
Again, top half of the table.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy one that. You would expect on paper to Scunthorpe to go through, especially after the great result they had at the weekend.
Yeah, that first win was vital now going into this game.
Yeah, I mean, it could prove as a backbone, and their season starting now, and what way to continue in the FA Cup and get through to the next round. So.
And Grimsby Town, of course, they're at home this weekend to Oxford. Again, is this another 3-0 win as they beat Guiseley, or is this a bit tougher?
I think they should win this quite comfortably.
Oxford are League Two, but Grimsby are at home, and we've seen them beat higher opposition last season.
Yeah. To be honest, I do fancy Grimsby on this one. I don't think Oxford will fancy coming to Brundle Park, and it was hardly documented by the fans that they didn't fancy the tie.
I was about to say that. I was reading through Twitter and things like that, and I don't think the fans fancied the trip.
No. So I do fancy Grimsby on this one.
Maybe it's a tie Oxford will just overlook.
Possibly.
Because I don't think they're flying high in League Two, so they'll want to cement their league status, do you feel?
Yeah, that'll be more important to them, but you know, they'll still want to come. No team comes not to win a game, so they'll come, and you know, it'll be a tough one, but I still fancy
Good
Town
weekend
on
of football, I think.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dave. So time has beaten us again this week. So if you want other football talk, you can watch On the Bench, amongst other sports as well. Thanks to Dave Patterson for joining us this week on the show. You can join us again, same place, same time next week. And if you want to get in touch with the show, you can do so via Facebook, Twitter or email, and your message could appear on next week's show. So for now, thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. Goodbye.